a hair educator. Like, I want to educate my clients.
Okay.
I want my clients to know more than what they already know.
I'm done. I'm done with that. I freaking love that so much. Oh, okay. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Beauty Ritual Podcast. I am your host, Eva, and today, to again get into the topics of age, beauty, and identity, we have Danielle Turrentine, a cosmetology educator.
Hi.
We're going to be focusing on a very, very interesting subject to me, which is wigs, but we're definitely going to have the broad strokes of what it's like to be in this beauty world because we can't help it.
Yes, always.
So, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm just happy you're here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, good.
Yes.
We're both over the moon.
Yes.
So, I have loaded questions about wigs ready to fire off at you.
Go for it.
But I want to hear a little bit more about your background before we get into the minutia.
Gotcha.
As it were.
Got it. Okay, so I have been a hairstylist for the past 22 years. And I've been an educator for the past 11 years. Yeah, 12 years this year.
Wow.
I love everything about hair. Like, you can't stop me from doing anything. And I don't limit myself either when it comes to hair. I've been a barber. I've been a barber teacher. I do all types of natural styles.
I'm a little jealous.
I do runway stuff. I do all types of... You can still be a barber. Don't limit yourself. Do not. It's really fun. Like, it's good to know everything because this way, anything can happen in the drop of a dime and someone could need you. And it could be so random. Like, I need a beard trim. Like, today. Okay, let's go.
And
you
a
only
salon
have
beard
scissors,
trim versus a barbering beard trim. Two different education
Two completely
styles.
different things.
Yeah.
But once you know both, you can do it with anything.
Right.
Once you know both, you can do it with anything. That's why I said don't limit yourself. Like, get all the background, get all the knowledge. Because if you don't have all the knowledge, you're always going to be stuck not knowing something. And then you're going to have to refer to someone else or someone else or someone else.
This is why I tell people that are interested in beauty to get a cosmetology license. Yes. When they just go for nails or they just go for skin, I'm like, you will be back. You're going to want to know the full breadth of what it means. What does cosmetology mean?
Exactly.
You're going to get curious. I get curious all the time.
Yes.
And I think that me being able to like, okay, I want to take this skincare class and I have a license that gets me in the door.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the ultimate freedom.
Yeah. You can do a dermatological class right now.
It's the coolest thing.
Yes. It's amazing.
But, you know, I have nail techs that have cosmetology license that have, like, gone into tattooing or gone into skincare. It's
exactly.
It's, like, so versatile.
Because you get an idea of everything that has to do with beauty itself instead of just one specific area. Like, everyone always asks me, what's your specialty? I'm a cosmetologist. I have no specialty. I'm a cosmetologist, and that's just where I'm at with it.
I love that. I like re-owning it because I think that word has gone through trend of kind of being unpopular. And I think that it's time to bring it back.
Yeah.
It's time to tell people what it means.
A cosmetologist is just not a hairstylist. Like, we do everything.
Right.
We do skincare. We do nail care. You know, we take care of people's actual scalps because that's what we're supposed to do as a cosmetologist. You know,
I have dermatologists who are clients of mine that tell me they get a lot of referral from hairstylists telling their clients, like, hey, your skin is developing some kind of, you know, abnormality. And they go in and they get checked for skin cancer and they catch it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of healthcare connection inside of it.
Yes. And even with being an esthetician, if you're going to get facials regularly and your esthetician is meaningful and wants to tell you what's going on with your face, you could be taking care of whatever problems you have going on just from that conversation alone. Your nail tech will tell you, stop doing certain things with your nails because it's affecting you. You can't keep getting acrylics. You have to take a break.
Right.
You know, like if that person is knowledgeable of that subject, then they're going to keep their clients by giving them that extra customer service. That's the extra customer service that's not everyone's giving anymore, because not everyone's getting a license and doing, you know, the background.
You know what? I wasn't going to say it, but I was like, okay, TikTok. Okay. Did you hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to keep it light today. I'm not going to go off on TikTok. Okay. But the thing is like melting your hair, messing with your skin.
It started on YouTube, so I'm just going to go there and say it. Started on YouTube University, but
YouTube University.
And that's just where it is.
Just where it is. Mm-hmm. Okay. I love you so much. I just want to get into wigs.
Go.
Okay?
Let's go.
All right. First of all, I feel like there is a hierarchy in wigs where it's like kind of looked down upon a little bit. Like the first step, girls are more comfortable with getting a weave than they are with
wearing a wig.
And maybe it's changing a little bit because the level of wig out there is better. But I think that there's this resistance to like the world of wigs.
It's a big resistance because there's a wide range of wigs itself. Like wigs it's so many different categories. It's ridiculous. Yeah. You have your fake wigs, you have your real wigs, you have your extreme wigs to the point where they're extreme and you don't even notice that there's a wig on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it gets to that level. When people are scared to wear wigs, it's more so, does it look wiggy?
Yeah, the wig they were exposed to
exactly
was not maybe
feel uncomfortable.
It made them feel uncomfortable.
They haven't had the chance to experience a higher class of wig. And when I get into a higher class of wig, I'm saying like a $10,000 wig.
Like down the money.
Yeah, straight down. Like not these $1,000 wigs, these wigs with all these bundles attached to them, extra thick, extra long. Right. Not that kind of situation. We want things that look real and natural. So those people who've been exposed to bad wigs, it's only because they haven't had the experience of a good wig or don't know where to go to find a decent wig either.
That I think is a very small niche luxury market. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's a market full of secrets.
Yes.
Even for the people who have been in it for a long time, they tend to feel like, I never know really what's going on. I've learned through all these trial and errors to ask for what I need, but there's still so much mystery. Mm-hmm. What tip would you have for someone who, say, is in that position where they're somewhat experienced in getting what they need, but they still feel like they're dealing with this level of secrecy from their wig maker and the company they work with?
It's more so, do you want to do it yourself or do you want to continue to get it from someone? Do you want to continue to be the middleman in the process? Because where I'm at now, I was the middleman in the process, and now I found a person to help me grow into physically making these wigs and like making them from scratch. And I prefer that more than what I learned years ago from another person making the wigs from different materials and putting them together. And that was fairly easy. So once you decide to figure out like where you want to be in the process of the wig, if you're going to be making the wigs yourself or you're just looking for a manufacturer, yes, it's going to be difficult because it is a huge secret where you get your supplier from, where's your hair coming from. Right. Even that is like down to the T secrecy. Like, why I can't even say anything.
Why? What's with that? Those levels of, I understand, because I think like in
it's the same with clothes.
It's the same with clothes. It's the same with
Versace services. Is not telling Gucci where they get their prints from ever. Yeah. Ever. It's always going to be a mystery. Someone always has to have some type of level of secrecy so that this way that person is a little bit better than the next person. But everybody's really getting their stuff from the same place. Everybody's going to the same place, getting the same people, and everybody's just so zip-tied about it.
It's
the same manufacturers.
I can't even laugh because it's so true. It's so true. Now, if we got into construction of wigs, I made notes because I was like, I need notes today. Closure, frontal, full lace. What differences are we talking with these constructions? Closure
is going to be limited. It's going to either be a side parting, a middle parting. That's going to be your limitations. It's not going to be as versatile as far as like pulling your hair back and not seeing any type of wig situation. Depending on how the wig is constructed, depending on how the wig is placed on you, you might not see it at all. But a closure is limited. It's a smaller piece of lace.
Less flexibility.
Less flexibility. A frontal is going to be a lot of flexibility across the front of your face. That's where all the flexibility is going to be.
Like in the entire hairline has flexibility.
The entire hairline. Yes. A full lace, you're going to have flexibility all over the entire thing. It's one strand of hair per hole on the lace, and you can move it around, you can part it, you can braid it, you can do whatever you want with it.
So I always assume, because my experience with wigs is through my own like fun play, and actually through some parts of the market that I've experienced, just religious wigs. People who wear it for religious. Whole different ball game. But there's one thing in the construction I notice a lot of times is that you have like two portions of the wig. You have the first, I would say, from the front of the hairline till maybe the apex or even the occipital. That is like a full lace. And then from there, it turns into this, and if I'm getting any of the terms wrong, correct me, please. So to me, that would be like the full lace area. And then underneath, you have this like stretchy, bungee layers of elastic and maybe fabric.
So they're called tracks or wefts. So it's the hair pretty much bundled together in a strip. And with those wigs, they're typically constructed as that, like just the hair with the wefts across the back of it. The frontal piece will cover... The frontal piece is normally 13 by 6 or 13 by 4. So it'll go to about your apex, the deepest. But it depends on the construction. Some companies might construct a little bit further back so that this way they give you more versatility across the top. So,
and they add those tracks in as like part of the volume, basically, to like build out the volume in the back of the hair. So that pretty much that is what most wigs have been constructed as. Like in the beginning, like synthetic wigs, that's how they're constructed, with wefts. When I first started making wigs, that's how I was making them, with wefts across the back, and then I would put a frontal piece across the front or a closure piece across the front. Either way, that's pretty much how the construction of most wigs look nowadays. Why did you want to start making them?
So when I first started making them, I was making them with a girlfriend. She was making them for her clients, and she was like booming. And she was making them at home by herself. And I was like, well, why don't you let me help you? I like sewing.
See, this seems so complicated to me. This is like insane that you were just making them.
It was so easy. And when I say we would be up until like 2, 3 in the morning putting wigs together. Like I would set up the construction of the wig for her. She would be sitting there sewing them down. Like that easy. I would help her with color, everything, like the whole construction of the wig we would sit and do within like maybe 2-3 hours per wig. So it wasn't a lot of work. It was just a lot of orders. So it was a lot to do. Once I stopped helping her with that, I was like, okay, it's got to be more to this than just that process. Like that's such an easy process. It's got to be much more. So moving to LA, I really got into some major stuff with the wigs and really started digging in. And I'm like, okay, this is way bigger than what I was even expecting. And now getting into making them from scratch, it's a whole nother ball game.
So here's my questions firing off in my head is here's what I see as the positives of making a wig is that you could measure someone's head.
Yes. They're custom fitted.
You can custom fit, and you can like
custom color,
custom density. I mean,
custom density. Yes.
Yeah. That's all. I mean, that's kind of mind blowing. So if it's so easy, to do, how often are you really doing it for one person?
So I can say that most of the customers that I've noticed getting these like major wigs that look more natural.
Yes.
They have about 5 to 6 wigs at a time. And it's so great because they're like, most of them all look the same.
Yeah.
But they don't care because they're taking them off, putting on a new one, taking them off, putting on a fresh one. So
they're not rotating out their own hair in this process.
No, they're wearing, putting on the wig every day.
Yeah.
It's an everyday piece for them. So because it's an everyday piece, they have multiples.
Yeah.
You're not going to have just one piece if that's something that you wear every day.
Right. I mean, no, that makes perfect sense. Because when I haven't seen a client really, like, in the fashion sense, I have clients that have wigs that are pre-styled and they look like their hair.
Exactly.
But they cycle their real hair through.
Okay.
So they're also putting in hair extensions and, not permanent hair extensions where you're wearing them for 3 months. Something they can clip in, put it in, take it out. And then, these are people that need to be ready a lot.
Yes.
So it's like they can throw on that wig and like the necessity of the moment. Their color's not done or whatever. It's
and the wigs look exactly like their hair.
Exactly like their hair.
And all you have to do is clip it in and go about their business.
Yes.
Yes.
But to me, the next level is someone who's wearing it every day. Now you're going to talk about really what does it mean to wear one, right? Because are you going to be gluing that down every day? Are you going to be wearing like, I know there's like the no slip headbands. Yeah. And
that's so crazy. I had one on earlier and I said, I'm going to make sure I take it with me. And when I took it off, I was like, it's too hot. I'm not putting this back on.
Yeah.
I had the wig on, the non-slip grip on and everything. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make sure I wear my wig so she can see. And then I'll just take it off for her and show her the inside. And I left the whole wig in the house.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Next time.
Next time. We can bring them out.
Yes.
But can we hear a little bit about, should you be gluing your wig down? Like, should you be, like, how does that work? Like, what actually is the balance between the health of the hairpiece? Because I know that the hairpiece needs a certain level of care, and I'm sure adhesives are, drying and not great for the lining. Yes. But, like, how do you balance wearing one, if, say you wear it every day, have it look natural and feel confident?
So I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for saying what I'm about to say. Oh. But I could care less because the glue and the taking them down, I feel like people don't realize that you're taking your own hair out. Like you're taking your own hairline out. These products have alcohol in them. These products are not made for your skin.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people realize that your skin and your hair are the same exact thing.
Yeah.
They're made of the same thing. So the more you're putting all these products on over and over and over, it's just like kind of damaging.
Yeah.
So I don't prefer to take my wigs down. I actually hate the feeling of it. And me transitioning into wearing more wigs, I've realized like I'm never taking my wigs down. So that's a no for me. When it comes to like just putting them on, if like I said, the grip works well, but it also can mess your hair up. The lace itself, lace has little tiny holes. So can you imagine that little tiny hole friction back and forth on your hair and like flat on your hair?
Yeah.
It's ripping your hair out from the base.
Let me tell you something. I wore a wig to Coachella.
Ooh.
And I didn't intend to. It was an accident.
Did you get it tacked down?
Let me tell you what I did.
Oh.
You're going to be horrified. Okay? Enjoy this. I didn't bring an outfit. Okay?
Oh.
I was packing hair stuff.
Okay.
So I kind of realized about myself last, which I think we do as hairstylists. We kind of are like,
we do.
Oh, me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have this wig, and it's fun. It's blue. It's super fun. Okay. Yes. But you need to prepare to wear it.
Okay. Yes, you do.
I didn't prepare, so I had wig tape.
Okay.
Okay. I had a wig cap. I also had a ton of extensions in my hair, which are all out right now. So this is like, my hair would have fit perfectly under it.
Okay.
It would have been fine.
Plus a wig, plus Coachella.
Okay.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
Oh, the pressure was so incredible. The pressure was incredible. It was like a vice on my head.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was so sloppy about it. I was like, can I just like pull the ponytail out?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would have did that at the end of the night.
But I put wig tape down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it somehow pulled on my hair like so hard for 3 days. I wore it like every day because I was committed. I was like, it's like the high heels at the beginning of the night, right? I'm not taking them off till I get home. I was very committed to this wig.
I'm so glad that you were.
I was like, how do you not rip your hair out?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was ripping my hair out by the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Every single day. I'm like, how can you glue? How can you tape? How can you stick anything under this thing?
And did you take it off every night and put it back on?
Oh, baby. I know. I had no guidance.
Typically, when you're taking them down, they stay down. And you don't take them off.
Really?
And you take them off maybe when the glue starts slipping or you wet it down. But for the most part, if you're going to take it down, it's going to stay for a few days.
Okay.
Most people get their wigs taken down and they stay for a good 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's what I mean by, is that stuff really safe for us?
I don't think so.
Exactly. So, I mean, you have, like I said, you have the grips.
Yeah.
You could literally just put the wig on. If it's constructed right to your head, it will fit like a glove. You won't need to put anything on. My wigs, I don't even put anything on anymore. Like, I got the lace to the point where we're just laying down nice and flat. But you have to prepare your wig to do that. Mm-hmm. If you don't prepare your wig, then, yeah, your lace is probably going to be all stretched out and so on. But then you have clips. So the more high scale wigs don't have the lace where you take it down in the front. Because they're custom made to fit your actual head. Okay. They're formed from your head. I'm so sorry.
It's Baby Yoda in the back.
Baby Yoda is crying. Please stop. Thank you.
Hey, Shmoo. You just needed some attention.
Of course. So generally the wigs are not made custom fit. So if they're custom to the head, then they're not moving. They're not going anywhere. If you have it as a clip, you're literally just clipping it in your hair and going about your day.
That is interesting to me. Because the more I've played with wigs for fun, the more intrigued I am about what does it mean to have an easy wear wig. Yeah. Right? Hi, Shmooberry. You want to come be on the podcast? Can I pick you up? Yeah. Is that okay? Hey, Shmoo. Just bye-bye.
Yoda just had to make his appearance.
Hey, Smee. It's okay.
Okay.
No, so the more interested I am, back to what we were saying about wearing them on a daily basis, how often, I mean, part of the draw for me is the fact that you can throw hair on, right?
You can look different.
You can look different every day. You could look the same, right? Those both have different draws. But how often are you washing a wig, re-blow drying, right? Because like you might need a blow dry in your real life every 3, 4 to 7 days, right? Depending on the person and the type of hair.
So it depends on the wig, the type of hair. What are you doing in it? Are you wearing your wig to bed? First of all, that should be a no-no. But if it's tacked down, you really can't do anything about that. Yeah. How often are you putting product in your hair? Are you putting a bunch of products in your hair every day? Like, I'm naturally curly. I always wear my hair curly. My curly hair wigs, if I'm putting products in them, I'm washing them within like maybe 2-3 weeks. Because I'm putting so much product in them. And I want to keep them refreshed. I want to keep the curl right. But if it's a straight hair wig, and I'm not putting anything in it, I'm not really touching it too much.
Yeah.
It just depends on how often you're wearing it. Like, if you're wearing a wig to the gym, then yes, that's a wig that needs to be washed once a week. If you're just wearing it for fun, then you only need to wash it once a month or once every time you wear it.
Yeah.
Like, not all the time. But you should treat your wigs like it's your natural hair, because it's hair. Like, you still should take care of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good cue, right? Of
Yeah.
like, well, 2 cues actually. You just said, one, don't ever sacrifice your real hair for your wig.
Yeah.
And treat your wig like it's your hair.
Exactly.
It's an investment.
It is an investment.
Yeah.
People don't realize that they spend so much money on their wigs and then they don't take care of them.
Or take care of their real hair.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They get so caught up in buying all these wigs and they're not even taking care of their hair, and they could care less about their hair. And then they look at themselves and they're like, well, who am I? Because now I have all these different identities, but I don't know who I am, because I don't know what my hair looks like. I don't even know how good it could possibly be.
Can I ask you a really sensitive question?
Yeah.
What do you think about that journey of figuring your own hair out if you've been addicted to other hair?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. Because
Is it worth doing?
It is worth it.
Don't you think?
It's worth understanding who you are as a person. Just understand what God gave you.
Yeah.
And not what is available to you. Because it may not be available to you tomorrow. You never know.
That's very true.
You have to embrace what you already have. Like, we're not grateful enough for what we already have to, like, experience the wigs in the sense of them being for fun or enjoyment. Like, my wigs are for fun and enjoyment. Like, I have 1,000 wigs right now. I threw out so many wigs before I moved here. And I'm, like, mad at myself, kicking myself. Like, oh, my God, I could have been doing this. I could have been doing that. But now that the market for wigs is completely wider for me, I'm like, okay, what's next? What's next? But I also love my hair.
Yeah.
I love my hair.
Yeah.
When I first moved here, I was pink, like hot pink. Hot pink. It was long. It was curly. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Let's get rid of it. Just cut it. Let's go blonde. Let's do something different. So this look is me. This is who I am. But earlier, I was long curly hair with bangs. Like, I had this big poofy, it looked like scissors hair.
Oh, I love
like
it.
Like that curl.
I love it.
But black.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
like,
I can.
And me in black hair, I look good.
Yeah.
If maybe tomorrow I might want to put on my short curly hair, but it's black. So it's different. Or my long pink wig. I always have, like, a different feeling. Like, I want to look and feel different every day. But I also want to be myself.
Yes, you shine through. And that's part of the identity portion of hair that you're hitting on so well right now, which is, if you don't know who you are without all of the flash, without everything, like you said so eloquently, that is available to you, you're always going to have a case of, like, missing person.
Yeah.
No matter how good you look.
Yeah. You're always going to feel some type of insecurity about yourself.
Because you just don't know who you are.
Yeah. Just take it off. It's okay.
You know what, though? I think you can get people to take it off, but sometimes they really don't like the answer. They really don't like that, hey, my hair is this texture. My hair is this color.
Mm-hmm.
My hair does this.
I have to deal with it.
That's a level of self-acceptance that I think you should start from in this world.
And then build yourself and say, okay, well, now I want to look like this.
Yes.
And now I want to look like that. But I also look good like this. Mm-hmm. No one embraces that anymore. At least not as much as they should in this beauty world.
I think there's a wide variety of why that happens. Mm-hmm. And it could be from your childhood and what people taught you about your hair. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some people had the misfortune of being taught things about their hair that are not true.
The complete opposite.
And it went straight to the heart. And it's really hard to unwind when someone near and dear to you said things about your hair that aren't true, that they probably didn't know any better to say. Mm-hmm. But learning how to love that part of yourself again is where you'll find a lot more freedom in choice.
Yes.
Because we're so overwhelmed with the amount of choice that we have in this, it's like outward beauty world, right?
Yes.
You'll drown if you don't know where you're starting from.
The possibilities out here in the beauty world are completely endless. Like, you could have braids tomorrow.
Yep.
You could have long black hair today. You could change your whole entire look. You can do a whole makeup spill and look like a whole different person in less than an hour. And people are okay with that. Mm-hmm. But they're not okay with just bearing it all. Like, just be free. Mm-hmm. Although the wigs give you a sense of, this is me, this is who I am, but they're not giving you who you really are. Now, I might say that it's not giving you who you really are, but then there's some people who need the wigs because they're going through stuff.
Yep.
That they need to have this because they don't feel like themselves without their hair, because they're going through something medically that is taking that away from them.
Yes.
So when it comes to the more natural looking wigs, there are people who are wearing them that you would never know.
100,000%.
You would never know.
Yes.
And you would never know what they're going through, what they're fighting, and whatever is in their mind and stressing them out, because they took the opportunity to make themselves still feel like themselves.
Yes.
And that's what that is.
Yes. And I think that is a super powerful area of hair pieces. Mm-hmm. That is like a secret weapon.
Yes.
Because it's gonna give you that steel that you need sometimes to get through a really, really hard portion of your world. And that's probably one of the more touching areas of hair that, like,
we don't really dig into too much.
We don't talk about it because a lot of times it's like personal between, the person and the experience.
And that's the other part of beauty that's secretive that we don't talk about.
Yeah. It's like when you're going through something really real and raw and you need some armor.
Yes.
Like real armor. That is hard to capture all the nuance. Right? And and it's individual because each person who's going through that fight of whatever it is,
they have their own way of fighting it.
Yes.
They have their own way of pushing through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could do a separate, interview of every single person, and you'd get a different perspective, but you could never, I don't really think you could get into the actual relationship between, like, what that did for them.
Yeah.
Because it's so personal.
Exactly.
And, like, soulful,
you would have to have gone through that same process.
Yes.
For you to understand what they're going through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's crazy.
It is crazy. What a beautiful note to end on. I love ending on the note of, like, hair is soulful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, Danielle.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Where can we find you?
Okay. I can be found on Instagram. My Instagram is _hair knowledge. I think that's right. I'm not sure.
We should find out. We'll post it in the link below.
On Instagram, but you can call me, text me. My hair hotline is always open 24/7, 267-600-9206. That's always going to be on.
She just dropped the hairline on you guys. That's basically like dropping the Batman, like, light signal. So
questions, concerns, anything, formulations, I'm down. I'm that kind of educator. Like, whatever you need, hit me up. Like, send me a message. Hey, this is such and such. I heard you were on it. Go for it. Send me all your questions.
Are you obsessed with that? I'm obsessed. You can find me at beauty_ritual on Instagram and beauty_ritual on TikTok. And you can find this podcast wherever podcasts are available and on YouTube.